Friends, one of the most important powers given to Congress is the power to declare war. I want to talk to you about declaring war, drafting daughters, reauthorizing war, because these are major issues that must improve. Let's start with my mission in 2014 for the Congress to reclaim their authority over then President Obama's decisions to continually authorize engagements. We haven't declared war since 42. That is Congress's job. We need Congress to step up and start declaring war instead of looking to the president for leadership. The president's job is to wage it. It's Congress's job to declare it. Senator Fisher made the same claim in 2012. Listen for yourself.
We can't be the policeman for the world. We don't have the resources with our service people. We shouldn't be sending them places that's not in our national interest. We cannot do that. It's costing us dollars that we need here at home. We cannot keep doing this. As I said earlier, it has to be in our national interest. We have to have a reason to be somewhere outside of this country. As Don said, we can control the purse strings in Congress. That's how you cut this off. You don't provide funding when a president decides to take it upon himself to send our young people overseas, and he hasn't come to the Congress that represents the people to get that declaration of war, then Congress does not fund it, and it does not happen.
That is what Senator Fisher promised. Here's what happened.
You have said no boots on the ground, but this is almost tripling the amount of forces that you've approved there.
President Obama confirmed this morning that he will send an additional 250 American troops to Syria.
President Obama is sending more American troops to Iraq.
Thousands of U.S. troops on tanks are amassing in Poland right now.
Greater Middle East, where the U.S. is waging war against enemies in Afghanistan, Iraq, Syria, and Yemen. U.S. special operations were actually deployed in at least 33 African nations, more than 60% of the 54 countries on the continent in 2016.
Guess what? We're sending troops to Somalia for the first time in 24 years. Why are we in Somalia?
President Trump will speak to the nation tonight to unveil the next step for the U.S. in its longest war ever.
These young people, sometimes old guys, put on the uniform. Sometimes they go in large numbers to invade Iraq and invade Afghanistan. Sometimes they're working in small units, working with our partners in Africa, Asia, Latin America, helping them be better. But at the end of the day, they're helping those partners be better at fighting ISIS in North Africa.
As you can see, Senator Fisher was not truthful with the American people or the American military and their families who depend on the U.S. Congress to debate and deliberate on war before their lives are put in harm's way. Senator Fisher owes it to the American people and military to defend the Constitution in the same way our soldiers do under sworn oath every day. Unfortunately, she has failed. Article 1, Section 8, Clause 11 gives the power to Congress, not the executive branch, to declare war. And our founders were clear on what war was. Alexander Hamilton: it is the exclusive duty of Congress, when the nation is at peace, to change that state into a state of war. James Madison: the executive is the branch of power most interested in war and most prone to it. It has accordingly, with studied care, vested the question of war to the legislature. George Washington: the Constitution vests the power of declaring war in Congress. Therefore, no offensive expedition of importance can be undertaken until after they shall have deliberated upon the subject and authorized such a measure. Our founders were clear. Friends, we have herd mentality in the U.S. Senate. We need constitutional mentality to return. This is the principal mission of my candidacy. Friends, our senators ducked the vote to authorize force. In particular, Senator Fisher has demonstrated she has no courage to take an actual constitutional vote on an authorization. However, she did have the courage to vote yes for new rules to allow our daughters to be drafted into the military for war. I cannot think of any more important subject that demonstrates why Senator Fisher is rated an F by Conservative Review. These actions show Senator Fisher is definitely not conservative and definitely not constitutional. In addition, Article 1, Section 8, Clause 12 was written to defend the purse. Clause 12 states, to raise and support armies, but no appropriation of that money to that use shall be for a longer term than 2 years. Honoring the Constitution requires a reauthorization by vote, not committee, every 2 years from all members. We need to control the funds we are deploying, re-examine the missions we are authorizing. Friends, operating in the Middle East on an authorization of force from 2001 is not constitutional. Now, this is not a statement of pacifism, as those who benefit from military sales may like you to believe. I am committed to the defense of this nation. I believe in a strong military for national defense and to ensure the domestic tranquility. I believe there are worthy external threats that do need to be addressed. I'm well supported by many in the Guard and military who know I have a backbone. However, the violation of one article of the Constitution is a threat to the rule of law and our rights protected by the Constitution. Our military and our citizens need to know that the document everyone is given an oath to defend is followed. I will not subject my sons or daughters to the will of one man or woman in the White House or some secret building who may be off their rocker on a power trip. The deliberation and debate of these decisions are very important. We cannot trust national security into the hands of an unconstitutional representative like Senator Fisher. She is passive in the face of unilateralism, and the conscription of our children into unauthorized war should not happen. It is time we make D.C. politicians constitutional again. I expect the vote of every Nebraskan who values the Constitution.